Bitcoin fell to $60,000. Altcoins continued to slide down, and even gold has shaken as well. Not so much like everything else, just a couple percent. In my opinion, this gives us a good opportunities to gain profits in the next 1 to 3 months. Let's start with that happen and let's discuss the prospects, but first don't forget to subscribe, to like the video. That is a great motivation for me, guys. Thank you for your support. Check the Dow Jones Index. Iranian attacks against Israel. Growth of gold, oil. Inflation fell by 475 points. S&P 500 experienced worst day since 2024 January. Even JP Morgan shares fell 6% after the bank published first quarter results of 2024. The bank said net interest income, a key measure of what it makes through lending activities, could be a little short of what Wall Street analysts are expecting in 2024. CEO Jamie Dimon also warned about present inflationary pressure weighing on our economy. The oil prices began to rise again, and if this growth will continue, inflation crisis will get worse, what may influence the US decision on interest rate cut this year. There is some hidden mystery behind this takeoff of gold recent months. I think that one of the most important reasons for this lies in Iran as well, as in countries from Alliance BRICS who buying gold and preparing to launch their own currency backed by gold. Just like Zimbabwe did, they launched their new currency backed by gold named Zimbabwe Gold, on short ZIG. I think we can see more such cases in the future. Iran launched hundreds of missiles and drones on Israel over the neighbor in the east, and this time the sky is closed. Fear and uncertainty led to the cryptocurrency market fall as well as traditional markets. This whole situation can lead to inflation and war. However, I can say, no matter how cynical it sounds, but if the United States is drawn into a direct conflict with Iran, the printing machine will work at its best, so we see a lot of money around, what is good for Bitcoin. Mr. Crypto tipped on Twitter, I must say I share his idea. Within ongoing escalations in the world, we could see a massive stock market reaction. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but even if we're occur, generally this is a good moment to buy stock market performance during the wars. Check it out. Briefly speaking, from 1 to 3 months there may be drawdowns, but then markets are not only recovering, but also are growing very well. 1 to 3 months. This matches up nicely with the chart of altcoins cycle. Altcoins bottomed in early February. Sell off near Bitcoin halving. Altcoins will bottom out in early summer, which is needed less than 3 months. Be patient a little bit. Not a financial advice, but stop selling your cryptocurrency. Be patient. After the 4th wave will be the 5th one. Let's look at the state. Bitcoin on-chain metric not yet peaked. It reflects that the best time to buy Bitcoin is coming. The time to buy is when the metric is in green range, and the best time to sell when it's in the red zone. As you can see, we are not in this zone yet. We are only in the orange zone. Analogies with the past cycles being in the orange zones doesn't mean immediate collapse of Bitcoin price. Let's check the MVRV indicator, a division of the market Bitcoin capitalization. As we see, Bitcoin continues to encounter resistance on this level, at the previous level, the historical peak, but as the RV shows, this is normal. In 2017 and in 2020 was the same. Bitcoin is also ran into some difficulties exactly at this stage, exactly at this line of resistance. However, the overcoming of this level began at the fourth stage of the bull market. Now let's check the pull multiple indicator. When this indicator shows in the green zone, it means it's time being aggressively buying Bitcoin, but when it does soar to the red range, it's time to think about starting taking profits. And as you can see, we are only halfway to that red zone. Check the Bitcoin active addresses. We are just in some corridor, some kind of sideways. This is definitely doesn't look like a sell signal to me. But the most interesting thing that compared to 2023, this figure stayed almost untouched. Look at these wallet addresses with different balances. Please note that the number of these addresses compared to last year 2023 is absolutely hasn't changed. But here's what has been changed. It's the number of addresses with balance more than 10 bitcoins. Pay attention to the decrease around October 2023. That is whales with the balances of around $700,000 and more to sell. The number of wallets with a balance more than 100 bitcoins remains unchanged. Same situation with a 1000 bitcoin balance. Wallets balance with more than 10,000 bitcoins, as we see, are falling. But this is not a bearish signal. Pay attention to what was the last cycle. The price of Bitcoin was growing up and up. However, that figure were continuously falling. That is happening because whales with a balance more than 10,000 bitcoins are taking their profit. Asia will cause Bitcoin's second peak. Hong Kong approved spot Bitcoin and spot ETF on Ethereum. But what they will do? If we talk about volumes of cryptocurrency exchanges in China and America, then Asia, they are an order of magnitude greater than in USA. Pay attention to the general supply of bitcoins. Now it amounts to 19.7 million coins. But if we exclude from this number those that didn't move for the last 3 years, we will receive 10 millions only. And if to exclude those that haven't moved for 1 year, we will receive 4.5 million coins. And if to exclude those that haven't moved for 1 year, we will receive 4.5 million coins. If the volumes in China and Asia is 8 times higher, then what will be the percentage in the end? 19% of bitcoins available like in America? No, they might buy all of it. Check this. Based on the potential available capacity, this might result in up to 200 billion Hong Kong dollars of available capacity for those Hong Kong Bitcoins ETFs, or 25 billion United States dollars. American spot funds have already led to a record net capital inflows into exchange cryptocurrency ETF products. Look at this chart. But this is obviously what a huge leap after launching spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States. 2 weeks after the launch, people complained that this is a disaster, that price is falling, but look what had happened after 70 days. Bitcoin ETF in Asia could let Bitcoin price to the level that's scary to imagine. The CEO of investment management firm 1Ek says spot Bitcoin ETF have mainly attracted inflows of capital from retail investors 4 months since their launch. It means that 90% of the capital is still about to come in the future. Banks are buying Bitcoin. American National Bank with assets of $637 million bought Bitcoin. And here another one bank, American Royal Bank of Canada, with assets of $6 billion, just bought Bitcoin. And many others. For example, these institutions in total have $17 billion under management, and they all bought Bitcoin on the eve of halving, which will happen in 2 days. What will it lead to? What will halving lead to in short and long term? Halving, what is it? It is to reduce the daily output of bitcoins from 900 per day to 450. Do you think American plus Asia Bitcoins ETF could buy off all of these 450 bitcoins daily supply? This is the influence of halving. Look at this table. This table shows how much bitcoins are to buy on average. BlackRock buying on average 4,200 Bitcoin per day, ARK Invest 700 Bitcoins, and so on and so on. Take into account that the average grayscale Bitcoin sales of 4,100 Bitcoins per day takes part, and it turns out to be that they take away from the market 5 times more bitcoins a day than the miners to produce. This is the first halving which will shorten Bitcoin daily emission in the circumstances of the high demand. It means that only in the USA spot Bitcoin funds will be redeemed 20 times more than the miners to produce. And add here Asia. High demand, low supply. What do you think gonna happen with price? However, do you know what market will do? After halving, market will scare you first. Market will make you to sell your Bitcoin. One of the reasons for it is halving again. Bitcoin needs to hold above 80k to keep post-halving mining profitable. Some miners will go out of the business. Some miners will sell enormous sum of Bitcoin just in order to update the equipment, to be more energy efficient. But some miners will go out of the business. Some miners will sell enormous sum of Bitcoin just in order to update the equipment, to be more energy efficient. But that's why the halving effect usually takes time. Not only banks and financial institutions are changing their attitude towards the main cryptocurrency, but also entire countries. Geopolitics is changing for the better for Bitcoin. The Paraguay Senate changed its attitude towards Bitcoin and mining. They are going to use the excess of energy for Bitcoin mining. In South Korea, Bitcoin-friendly party wins the elections. Bhutan investors are also preparing for halving and going to increase their mining capacity. Moreover, Forbes reports that Bhutan has been mining Bitcoin since 2019. Mr. 100, this cryptocurrency whale who buys 100 Bitcoins every day, continues to accumulate Bitcoins. Who does this address belongs to? The wallet is rumored to belong to small national state, either Qatar or United Arab Emirates. That address have accumulated more than $4 billion in Bitcoin. We already saw El Salvador, Paraguay, South Korea, Bhutan is changing its attitude towards Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, and even China finds a loophole via Hong Kong.